And here we are. This is Dear Woke Christian, the special edition. Happy Thursday. This is something different. Today, we're going to discuss, or rather look into, how to improve our live streams. So if you are a content creator or even a video creator, it doesn't have to be primarily for live streams, but it could be also used for just your video recording. If you're a content creator and you want to improve the way that your videos actually look, this video and this live stream is going to be for you. Got a couple special guests. They're going to be coming in talking about the importance of different aspects of the video creating process. I actually got a question for you to kind of get us started. And if you do have a question, I always ask you to put an asterisk and write out the word question in capital letters. That helps us see it. Or you can just put a capital Q. That would be the same as well. But if you do have a question in there. So this is my question for you. What's important in the video making process besides the content? Because you got to have good content. But what do you feel like is important in the video making process of creating content, whether it be here on YouTube or even you can even be on Instagram or one of the other platforms where you're creating video content? What do you think, and what do you feel is the most important aspect of it? So feel free to jot that down in the comment section while I'm waiting for my guest to enter into the green room and get himself ready to talk about this concept. But I'd love to hear, what do you think? What is important in the video making process? So that's my question for you. Feel free to comment down below. And of course, if you haven't already, please like this video. Please share. If you're not a subscriber, I would love for you to subscribe as well and drop me a comment down below. Hey there. All right, we got a couple of answers here. All right, feel like lighting is important. Thank you, Austin. I appreciate you. And of course, I think quality sound is a good thing as well. Let's real quick, we're gonna give Mike an opportunity to get himself together. Of course, quality lighting, I agree 100% there as well. Good evening, Pastor Gary. Always good to see you. We got your question, and I know that he's ready to answer that question today as well, brother. April's here. Good to see you. And Creative Studios is here. So let's give him an opportunity to get himself into the stream. So, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Welcome, sir. Welcome to Dear Woke Christian Special Edition.
How you doing, sir?
Oh, quite well, my friend, quite well. Since you are the special guest, I want to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself to everybody. I asked the question, what do they feel like is the most important aspect of the video creating process, whether it be for lives, like we're going to be talking about today, or just general creation as a whole. So it seems like it seems like a mixed bag, if you will. There's lots of answers, but it seems like lighting and audio seem to be the big winners so far today. I'm just looking through real quick. I believe so. Yep. Looks like lighting and audio quality sound. I'll give you that as well. Not many people nobody said camera. I thought that was interesting. Nobody said camera. So real quick, while they're answering that question, Mike, tell us who you are and what you do, what you offer, all that kind of good jazz. This is your, we'll give it a 10-second elevator speech, but
10
nobody's
seconds.
nobody's
Okay.
talking yet though.
Yeah. So my name is Mike Williams. I am the owner of Creative Studios here in Phoenix, Arizona. I do live streaming for a lot of churches, a lot of smaller fellowships, and a lot of small businesses. So because we've been in live streaming for a long time, we're more geared towards the intermediate, beginner, also the budget streamer. And so that's kind of what we focus on in our presentation when we're trying to help people out with live streaming. So that's pretty much me. I'm married, 5 kids, and there you go.
I love it. Well, some good questions are coming in. Now, we're not going to be talking about editing today, Susie, and I think there's good reason why. But we're not going to talk about editing today, but we will be talking about some other aspects that have kind of jumped up above, if you will. So, again, if you have a question, please put it in the comment section with the asterisk with question written there, or you can just do a capital Q. I'll let you get away with that as well. Capital Q, or write out the word question and give us your question. We'll be answering them throughout this live as Mike is doing his presentation or speaking about what we're going to be talking about on this fine day. So let's talk about it, Mike. What would you say the three most important aspects of I got the answer here too, don't I? All right. What would you say the three most important aspects are of video content creating?
Okay, well, so in my experience, I mean, there's a couple of different ways that you can go to live streaming. A lot of people are very familiar with softwares like OBS, vMix. A lot of Mac users are familiar with Ecamm, and they're also familiar with StreamYard. And so the first thing you have to get really, really solid on is your picture presentation. Now, a lot of people will use their phones or their iPad, which are good. And so you got to get the picture first. But to make the picture fully enhanced, you really have to work on your lighting. And so I would say between your picture and your lighting and your sound, those are the first three things that you should take care of. Your lighting makes your live stream come alive. Even if you have a subpar camera or even a subpar phone, lighting will really give your presentation or your live stream or your broadcast something for people to look at. Can you switch me to camera 2 real quick?
Okay, so Mike,
yeah.
I set this up because I had when you were going to say that, I had planned on something. So here it comes. Watch this.
Okay, let me see this.
So it doesn't matter how good my camera is if you can't see me. I mean, you can see my teeth. That's about it. But once I put the light on, everything changes again. So I wanted to help solidify that. I had like a little plan to solidify your point.
I had a plan too. Switch me to camera. Switch me to camera 1. All right, now switch me to camera 2. Now, you can tell the difference in those cameras, correct?
I did see that. I saw some change. Yeah.
Yeah, one's a little bit more red than the other, but the price difference between those cameras is about $1,000. That is
okay.
That's a $200 camera versus a $1,200 camera. Now go back to camera 2.
Okay, show us that again.
I'm on camera 2 now.
Which one is that one?
This is camera 2. It's got a little bit more warmth in my face. It's a little bit more red. It's not as crispy as the other camera, but lighting helps a bad camera look better. And so if you can buy as many lights as you can get, right, it won't improve the quality of the camera, but it will improve the quality of your stream because bad cameras usually have problems with low lights, right? So I purposely set up 2 cameras. I set up one that is a subpar camera and I actually use one of these cameras for a stream a couple times. And I added more light and look better. And you switch back to camera 1. Camera 1 is going to be a little bit less warm. It's going to be a little bit more focused, which is fine. Once again, 75% of your people are watching on the phone. As long as I can see you clearly, then I would focus on getting your lighting together and then working on your audio, and then the camera will come in time. So we think alike. I had an example, you had an example. So there you go.
So you have it. So you would say lights, audio, mic, and then camera. If you put them in some kind of order. Okay.
And I would put it in that order if an individual is on a budget, because we try to really focus on the person who's starting from scratch, right? So most people have a phone and most people have an iPad or a cell phone or something. Most people already have a computer, so you need a computer to go live. A lot of people don't have lights to start out with. They may have a light in their office, or they may have lights in their bedroom. So they kind of already have the first part of it already. I don't know anybody who'd start a YouTube channel without a camera or a phone. Like, that's just not a thought. Lighting is a whole different art that you have to perfect so that when you can go buy a better camera, or when you can go pull up something to improve the actual picture quality, the lights are just going to enhance that. So yeah, I would take that order if I were you. Yeah.
Okay.
Lighting, audio, camera.
So lights, audio, camera. All right, let's go real quick, because there were some good questions, man. There was and actually we already got some good questions. So I'm going to I know you wanted to go through your presentation and kind of talk about different aspects, but I do want to honor some of these.
We can go straight to the questions if you want. I'm almost positive that the questions asked or that I'm seeing popping up on the screen will actually cover a lot of what I was going to talk about. And so I'm cool with that.
I love it. All right. So I'm sorting through some of the, okay, here's the first question I think I see right here. All right. What software or platform do you use? I'm using StreamYard, Lost and Found, Faith, and Mike is using, you're on my StreamYard, but Mike is predominantly, he actually has an OBS Academy where he teaches you how to use OBS, which is a pretty top tier platform that lots of YouTube content creators use. And Mike, this week you were doing a pretty interesting class. What was that class about?
So, which one are you talking about? Because I was doing a few of them.
Um, you did do a few. I'm sorry, the one where you took somebody else's, you took their picture and you kind of recreated it in your office, so it almost looked very similar to the one. Go ahead and explain it.
Yeah, I basically so after you get your camera, your lighting, and your audio adjusted to your quality, next thing you want to work on is layout. Layout is just a presentation of your broadcast. A lot of streamers will look at other streaming platforms like me, myself. I kind of look at what gamers do on their platform. And the reason I do that is because they have a different approach to streaming than I would as a person that's teaching, or even as a talk show host. So I try to look at layouts and look at the elements of layouts that would benefit me for what I'm doing. And so I looked at a person that's doing a Bible teaching or something like that. Like in this instance, they would want, a side by side of maybe the comments and the picture to be on the screen so they can answer questions. So I took a layout from, one of the YouTube ministries or something, and I just copied it to show, hey, it's not impossible to copy it. And it's nothing wrong with making something that is available online and, taking the elements from it and making it look like you would want it to look so that your presentation is like you want it to be. Obviously, if you're interacting with your audience on a regular basis, having the comments up is a cool thing. If you're just doing mainly presentation of like slideshows, and videos and stuff, you don't necessarily need the comments on the screen for that part of your broadcast. But I did take a layout that somebody was like, well, how do you do this? We spent 47 minutes going through it, making some changes, and, doing it in OBS takes a little bit longer, but the principle was the same. Here's how you want it laid out. Here's how you do it in OBS. Here's how you can do it, something similar in StreamYard. And that's essentially what I did this week. One of the lessons I did this week.
I love it. Thank you, man. Okay, so real quick, how do you handle high quality video upload delays?
So video upload delays are,
and I think this is Pastor Gary. You remember he was using vMix.
Right. And so yesterday I did a video on the difference between 720 and 1080. You have to know what your audience is demanding before you upload it. All right. You have a lot of content creators who shoot their videos at 4K and they look amazing. And I'm not discouraging that. But 4K takes longer time to edit. It takes longer time to process. It also is a bigger file size. So some people do 1080, right? As I stated, 40, probably 70, I think it's something like 75 to 78%. You can look it up online, are watching your content on the phone. So 1080 or even 720 would be sufficient for your file size. Once you find that file size, there's a free program called Handbrake, which we use here in the studio. You can use Handbrake, which is free, to convert your video down in size so that you can upload it faster to YouTube. And I would recommend just watching your file sizes. Don't shoot 4K if your audience is not demanding it. We have one church that shoots at 720. Nobody in the church has ever complained about the video quality not being what it needs to be. And so really take it to an audience that you're shooting for your niche audience. Know what your niche audience is demanding, but don't do what somebody else's audience is requiring, because then you're going to get away from your focus.
I love it. Okay. I like that. All right. Hopefully to answer your question, Pastor Gary. All right. Are you guys going to be giving constructive criticism on some? Okay. So Walsh, that's a tentative plan. And Mike is laughing because we were talking about, like, there's a plan, and I think you would really like it, where we evaluate your channel and then bring it over here and give you some critiques, give you some suggestions, like move your lights this way, turn your camera to this degree, and so forth. So not tonight, but that will be something that happens in the future. Or Mike, why don't you just go in the comments? Why don't you just drop your details real quick?
Okay, I'm gonna drop my email in there, and you guys can send me a video or send me your channel, and I'll go through and make some constructive improvements. I try not to do criticisms too much, because I just want your quality and your presentation to just be better. I don't want to say, well, you should have did this or did that. if you just send me some things, I'm going to make some recommendations. Hey, maybe try this, maybe move this light here, maybe move the camera angle over, maybe, lower your or height in your chair, maybe
Yep.
move your desk. So that's what I try to do, is try to help people out.
If you followed my channel from the beginning, you notice that my desk is in a different place than it used to be in the office, and quite a bit of that is because of Mike's suggestion. So I'm just letting you know that right now. All right, Mike, you ready for this one? Here
And
it
I
comes.
see the question. I see the comment on the screen that says you both have good lighting. Today I purposely tried to not use all of my lighting, mainly because I want to concentrate on the budget streamers. So I'm only using half of my lights. I'm using one overhead light and a couple of LEDs I bought from Amazon behind me. So I just wanted to make sure, like, all the lights you see are very affordable.
Yep.
I don't have on all of my lights because I think that's a misrepresentation to come on the channel and have, a whole bunch of lights on. And I'm telling you, oh, your stream can look like this. I think that's misleading. So I'm really only using like 3 lights. The rest of this is all budget lighting, which I'm more than happy to share with you when the broadcast is over.
I love it. I know somebody, and I'm skipping a question to answer a quick question. Since you're talking about lighting, someone asked about the lightsabers that are over your right and left shoulder. Are those, where can they get those? So will you make a list so we can add it to the stream or to the.
Hey, director, come here. Go over there. I'm going to show you what I did. See, so go over here and grab this. Is there one over there? A light. Give me that light in the corner. I'm going to show you to see. When I got into the game, that one over there in the corner, I was like, yo, I saw this on an unnamed person's channel. I will not mention any names because we don't like them. And I was like, yo, that is awesome. Let me see how much one of those lights costs. And I looked it up, and it was like $300. And I was like, absolutely not. I am not about to spend $300 on a light. You know what I found on Amazon? I found this. I found these LED tube lights on Amazon for like $40, right? Let me go to camera 3. Now I had to use multiple cameras, but I found these lights on Amazon, right? Like $40, and they came in a pack, right? It was like 4 in a pack for $40. They already have a plug on them, and so then, hey, director, come over here. I got a director in studio. It's just my son, but he does what I tell him to do, right?
And rightly so.
Right. Well, not that. Hey, today's society, it doesn't even happen like that. I didn't tell you to come on camera. I told you to give me some. Give me the covers. Hurry up.
Oh man, come on.
He's taking.
Come on, nephew.
Hey, yeah, right, nephew.
I mean, come on, man. What we
doing?
You
know
nephew?
What I found? Then I found these on Amazon.
Those are tubes that go over.
These are just colored tubes, right? You get 4 of them for like 45. Like I think it was like $30, right? So what I did was I took this, I put it over here, and that's how I got lightsabers. It's a white light. It has a colored tube over it, and I have 4 different colors. And so it looks like I spent thousands of dollars on these lightsabers from Luke Skywalker. No, people, I spent $100 total, and I have 4 of these, and I have 4 different colors. And so that's how we got the lightsabers. And that's the magic of saving money. That's what I'm here for, y'all. I'm here for y'all. I'm here for you.
I love it. Wow. Okay. I didn't expect that. All right. Yeah, so real quick. Here we go. All right. So here comes April's question.
April.
So I use my iPad, and I'm happy either way I look on screen. But Lord, this audio. So she said she doesn't like her audio, and I thought she had a really nice microphone though. All right, and she's using 2 different cameras. That has 2 different cameras. All right, let's go. What you got for her?
Okay, so it's audio. Easy. A lot of people have the microphone that Jason has, which is a very solid microphone. However, it is out of some people's budget. It's okay. It's not to say you can't afford it, but to me, it's a pricey microphone. Okay, so there's 2 things you can do. They have other microphones that are a third of the price. There's some USB microphones that I'll actually drop in the comment section. Get a USB microphone and make sure you get one that has what I would call a lower bass frequency in the microphone, right? And they will tell you this on Amazon. You want to look for something that goes down to like 80, 40 hertz, something like that. Now, you won't hear that in your headphones, and maybe you might hear it in your headphones. You won't hear it through your computer speakers. So definitely get that. So that way you have a microphone that has a wider range frequency. Now, another thing you can do is just buy a regular condenser mic. You can get one of these on Amazon for like 30, 40 bucks. On my audio device, right, which I have, which is just a USB device. This one costs $83 on Amazon, and I'll put it over here so they can see it, right? This has a 3-band EQ on the first channel, so I can actually go in and adjust how the audio sounds on my microphone. In order to get control of your microphone, you need to have a few more controls over the audio as you're taking it into your computer. A USB microphone is good, but you need to have one with a lower range frequency, like the Shure mic that Jason has, that Dear Wilk has, or you need to get an audio device like a mixer or USB mixer, where you can actually go in and tweak it yourself. I think if you do that and you do some sound checking before you actually go live, I think your audio will improve. And also mic placement. Most people keep the microphone closer to them. If you have a USB microphone, you definitely want to get a pop filter, and you want to make sure that whatever microphone you're using, that you're actually talking into the right part of the mic. I had one streamer that they had a microphone like this, a condenser mic, but they were talking into the back of the microphone, and they wondered why their audio wasn't clear. So all microphones are not omnidirectional. Some of them are unidirectional, which means you simply could be talking on the wrong side of the mic. So I would take my microphone and see, placement wise, what's the best way for me to use this microphone? Should I put it on a stand? Should I put it on my desk? Should I put it above me? Should I put it below me? And I think that will help improve your audio, April.
I love it. Also, if you follow me on my channel, I've made several playlists. There's one called Mic, one called Lights, one called Camera, just some different YouTube channels that I've found that talk about these different topics, like how to place your lights, how to arrange it to get good visual effects, so on and so forth. If you follow my channel, and I believe if I did it correctly, we're talking about lights, and there it is in the chat. There's the light playlist that has dropped it in there. Here's the camera playlist. This Elgato, I like playing with my Elgato. Right. And then here's the mic playlist. So if you're looking, you can check out, there's quite a bit from Think Media and other YouTube channels that I found value in how to manage your lights and your camera as well as your audio. All right, so thank you, and hopefully that helps April out as well. I found my Canon a little cooler by default. I think she's talking about a camera, which is cool. I'm glad that we can definitely talk about cameras, because I got some questions about camera. But here's Jennifer. She has another question. Do you use a physical or a virtual green screen?
If you're gonna do green screen, now green screen's a whole different monster. If you're gonna use green screen, just like lighting, you need to have your green screen lit well. Now you can use a green screen, or you can use a blue screen as well. Mm-hmm. It needs to be lit very well. It cannot have wrinkles in it. And so if you do that, I would recommend, if you have a green screen, I would recommend definitely investing in maybe purchasing some virtual green screen backgrounds that you can get online that are very inexpensive. That's what I would do. I haven't really, for me, felt the need to do a virtual background yet, because most of my stuff is going to be here at the studio at my office, and I'm usually just presenting how to use OBS and live stream software. Now, I've seen some people creatively use a green screen background to where they can actually have their notes behind them. You'll find like a lot of gamers do that. People who are reviewing videos like for a living, basketball guys who do that. I think that allows them to have the picture that they're looking for. Yeah. But when it comes to green screen, there's no way to cut budget on that. You need to go get a green screen. You can get the round 6 by 8 foot green screen that's already flat. It's made of like elastic material. Make sure there's a lot of light on that, so that and make sure it's not right next to you. If it's right next to you, then you have what's called spillage, and then you'll have this little green halo effect around you. Yeah. And it doesn't look good at all. So I would recommend, if you're going to use the green screen, get a real green screen. You can go to SAS Fabric or whatever fabric stores in your city and get a green screen, green material that's very sturdy. Mm-hmm. Just make sure it doesn't have wrinkles in it and there's light like really, really shining on it. And then you can really make, and then you can use the virtual backgrounds in StreamYard. You can cut the backgrounds out in OBS. You can use virtual, the vMix green screen and actually and also when you do that, make sure you use an image that's high quality, 1920 by 1080, and make sure it fits your set. right? So don't go get a green screen of you sitting in the desert with some cactuses behind you that doesn't agree with what you're talking about. Just make sure whatever you do looks professional and it looks like you put some time and thought into it.
Love it. So since you're talking about that, let me ask you this. Nobody asked about it, but I'm going to ask. What about blurred out backgrounds? So like where I blur out what's behind me.
Uh-huh.
Would that be better, or would it be better to use a green screen, or does it matter, or is it just kind of depends on the person?
So that depends on your lens, right? And if you're
Got
not
it.
using
Okay.
a camera, then that really depends on the distance that you are from the stuff, the background that you're behind. The further away you are from the background, and and to my knowledge, I believe that the blur background is based on contrast, which means that it tries to cut you out from the background and blur everything behind you.
Yeah.
If you're going to use that, you should be further away from the background so it creates more contrast behind you. And you definitely want to try to use a backlighting. Like I have a backlight up here, but that's supposed to cut out, like on the top of my headphones, you see like this little lighting. So if I were to use that, it gives me the opportunity to actually stand out from
the
background. And it works, but you just can't, if you're in a tight room or tight space. I think you have plenty enough space where you are to do it. But you definitely want to have enough space between the background and yourself to where it actually looks like a clean blurred background. I think they do that for the bokeh look. If you can see some of the stuff behind me, my lens is doing all the blurring behind me because of how the lens is. But if I switch to just a regular lens that I have, if you switch to camera 3, go to camera 3. There's no blur because that lens doesn't have a blurry. It doesn't have the bokeh effect to it. So if you're trying to create that look in your studio, just give yourself some distance. Make sure, like if you're using like bookcases or plants or lights, give yourself some space so that it has, the depth of field is correct. So that's what I would recommend.
So, and when you say that, and the same thing with the green screen, it's not a hard and fast. It needs to be 5 feet and 8 inches behind you, but rather whatever your camera accepts and gives you that good look. So if it's 4 feet, or like mine is pretty close behind me. That's why I don't use a blurred background and I don't use my green screen because I can't get away from it. Because I have the green screen. I have the green screen that actually sits on your chair. So like attaches to my chair. So it's like a peacock, like right behind me. But in some pictures, it just does not look right. So it looks fine.
It's one of the things that I think is not addressed a lot in live streaming is depth of field. Having distance between your background and you is great. Having enough distance between your camera and you is great. And also having enough distance between your computer screen and you is great. Mainly because on your computer screen, let's say you're presenting something and you have information you want to put up on the screen, but maybe the screen is white, or the information is maybe like a PowerPoint slide. Well, that takes over your whole facial, facial, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, just the color of your face.
Yeah.
I had a guy I helped. He was using a software and it happened to be like a presentation software, but the background was purple. So it was like a magenta color. So every time he pulled it up, it made his skin magenta. And so I said, hey, you're going to need to either move your screen back or use that on another screen or something because it's affecting your broadcast. It's making you look super saturated. So depth of field all the way around, just my opinion, depth of field, distances is really what will make your stream come alive because now you're not too close to the camera or you're not too close to the microphone or your curtains or whatever, or your background is like not up against your desk.
Curtains.
Like,
don't hate my curtains.
No, I love your curtains. I would just use. Oh God, here you go. Next question.
Okay, so can you put the information about Handbrake?
Yes.
On the screen.
Let me just give you the link.
Yeah,
let me just give you the link.
Drop the link, Pastor Gary. He's dropping that link in there for you, and then I'm gonna go back to this.
It's a free transcoder. It's probably the most popular transcoder you can use for video to reduce the size. But that's probably what I would use. So I know YouTube will take any size video link. I try to keep all my videos at 1.5 gig or less. Now I know it's going to take a while, but if my video is bigger than that, I'm probably not going to upload it to YouTube because it's going to take too long. And even with high speed internet, it's just going to be going on and on and on and on. I probably wouldn't do that. Handbrake will help you get it where you can drag it in and then you just adjust the quality to the right. There's a quality slider. Move it to the right, right? Don't move it to the left. Move it to the right and then convert your videos. It does take a while, but that's probably what I would try to keep my videos under 1.5 GB for upload. And then even after you upload it, they have to convert it from standard definition to
Yes.
HD. And so if you go 4K, YouTube
Oh
has
my
to
gosh.
make 480, 720, 1080.
1080.
Sometimes they do 360 and then they got to do 2160. Like the conversion takes a long time. So I just, recommend that you keep your file sizes manageable. That's just what I recommend.
I love it. All right. So, hey, another question about vMix is good for a starter. OBS seems really hard.
I mean, sign up for OBS Academy and we'll make you a digital ninja. You know what I mean?
I
I'm
love it.
just
I
kidding.
like how you did that. I
You know
see
what
how
I
you
mean?
did
I mean,
that.
I ain't wearing the shirt for no reason. Let me show you right there, bam. You know what I mean? But
I see what you did there.
vMix. Okay, so here's the thing about software, and this is just for anyone. You have to pick something that you can master, right? vMix is an excellent software, has a lot of broadcast tools. It has some tools that OBS doesn't have that you have to kind of, do some workarounds. And I'm okay with saying that. I just know OBS works for me. If vMix works for you, use it. But learn the aspects that you need to learn. And here's the caveat: don't learn anything more than that. Why? Because it's like streaming and technology changes so much. You'll find yourself trying to learn something that you're never going to use. And I'm not discouraging you from not learning the best, but I believe a streamer's goal or a content creator's goal is to present content for an audience, right? And you got to know how to do that. And if you don't, like OBS and vMix have instant replay. None of my clients need instant replay. I know how to do it, but I'm not going to teach you instant replay if you don't need it. If you run a sports agency, maybe it'll benefit you, but learn what you need to learn in whatever software you need to learn how software it. And OBS and vMix, Wirecast, they're all the same. Wirecast costs a lot more because it's production. Set up a scene, set up a source. Set up a scene, set up a source. So you can switch from one layout to another layout to another layout to another layout. That's the goal of content creating. Have your layout set so that you can go through each, scene correctly, and then you can make it look like a planned out broadcast. I know you're watching some of my YouTubes and they are not planned out. I'm getting better at that. But I recommend that any mistakes you see in my channel, try not to reduplicate them so that your stream can be better than mine, because that's what I want it to be.
I love it. I love it. And keep in mind, like the goal is the content. Now we want to make the content palatable for the audience and the people that tune into your channel, but we're not trying to turn you into, you're not gonna be getting an Emmy. Well, maybe you could, I guess. I don't know, but we're not trying to get you an Emmy necessarily, but we do want you to get quality content that transfers to your audience. This is a good question, and it plays into why somebody or Jen asked, can you talk about the reasons why we use headphones?
So there are two reasons why we have to use headphones. One, the audio that's coming out of, like, say I have the audio coming out of my sound card into my headphones, so I can hear not only myself, but I can hear my guest. Okay. Also, the level of audio that I think that I see on the screen is not always the level that my audience is getting. Like, at least on StreamYard, I don't have a full volume meter on my screen. I see, a little green button. And so I think that, that's not loud enough. And so I'll crank the mic up. And then before you know it,
you're killing me.
The mic is too loud.
Right.
It's just crushed. So I use headphones, right? And I try to keep them at a 50%, 12 o'clock volume knob. And I also check on my phone for quality. I want to check for volume. And another third thing, which is more of what I would feel an advanced verbiage, is I want to check for compression and make sure I'm not distorting. I want to make sure that my volume levels are consistent all the time. And I think Jason does this wonderful thing where he comes on and he does a mic check because he wants to check his levels. He wants to make sure, because listen, there are a couple of things that people will not tolerate. Bad audio is one of those things that you just cannot overcome. You can have $1,000 camera, $15,000 in lights, and if your audio is crappy, people will not stay in your broadcast. If they can hear you and they can barely see you, they will stick around because at least they can hear you. So your lighting could be bad, your camera could be awful, but because they can hear you, they will stick around. If your
hang around for a second,
they'll hang around to see if you get it. And even if you don't all the way get it together, the audio is still delivering the content. Like the
Correct.
video is just the bonus, right?
Mhm.
But if they cannot hear you, or it sounds distorted, or it sounds horrible, they're not coming back. They're not going to come back. So the point in using headphones is to make sure that the signal that we think we're pushing out is actually going out. And sometimes you'll hear me before I check my broadcast. I'll check on my phone. Does it sound distorted on the phone? If it sounds horrible on the phone, it may sound great on the computer, but
Good.
if it
Yeah.
sounds horrible on the phone, I'm gonna adjust the levels because I know 3/4 of the people are watching on the phone. So that's what headphones do. You don't have to use big headphones. You can use them little in-ear headphones that you can buy
Yeah.
online. You can use your phone headphones.
Phone
Just be
headphones.
able,
Yeah.
yeah, just be able to monitor. The last reason is that if I have a guest on, I can't have my audio come out of the speakers because it will cause a feedback loop. That
Yep. That's the
audio
echo.
will go back into the microphone and it will cause an echo. And so that's the last reason that we have to use headphones when we have a guest on, is to get rid of the feedback loop. So
Yeah.
I hope I answered the question.
No, that's great. And then also, not only with the guest, Jen, but if you're doing like reaction video to somebody else's content where you're playing something through, you're playing a video, then you're doing a reaction like I usually do, that comes through and the microphone will pick it up and it just echoes through and it sounds horrible. So that's why. And again, they don't have to be super fancy headphones or anything of that nature. It could be just the little ones that used to come with your phone, I guess. But yeah, that would be a great way. And okay, so Pastor Gary asked about, is it handbrake? Did you put it in it? You
Yes.
dropped it in here, right?
Yeah,
it's down in the it's down in the link, Gary. All right, real quick, y'all don't know this, but real quick, this dude right here, that's my brother. So James is my brother, my actual biological brother, not my brother, but my actual biological brother, James. So just want to give a shout out. Good seeing you, James. He will be a YouTube content creator soon. So the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So you'll be seeing him soon, and you might even see him on the show. Who knows? We might have him on the show to talk about it. All right, what we got here? Absolutely, man. The kids are supposed to do what the director says. I agree. All right, let's see if April got her stuff. Let's see if she has any other questions. Oh, I agree. Get the likes up. Thank you so much. We got them taken care of. Devin, thank you so much, Devin, for stopping by. If you've noticed my studio when I'm recording in the studio, it's Devin's studio. Thank you for coming by today, brother. Appreciate you. So I think you know this gentleman, Nate 2D2, wants to know about these Mace Windu lightsabers. Tell him to go back and watch the replay. We already talked about that.
Yeah, watch that, bro.
Watch the replay, man. Watch the replay. Let's see. I think we got handbrake. We got that. Any other questions? Some people are giving some suggestions. Family reunions going on in here. I love it. I love it. Okay, so April says she has a XLR dynamic mic, but she can't hear her guests. You got any suggestions, or you want her to email you?
Yeah, I mean, the signal flow is that your are you now? Let me ask you: are you streaming? If I can get a response, are you streaming? She said she's using her iPad for a camera, but are you using a separate computer to stream, or are you using just the iPad to handle all of it? And we'll give her a second to answer.
Here, April, jump in. Come on in real quick. I know she's probably cooking dinner or something, but just jump. Wait, she on the chat? She on the live, so she can't be cooking dinner. Right. Jump in real quick and then and get back to the kids and family. All right, so I'll put it in there. We'll wait for her to jump in and you can answer her question.
But the signal flow is your microphone comes into, if it's an iPad, if your microphone goes into your iPad, right? Now you should have, if you're using the iDongle or you're using the I don't know, I can't remember what it's called for the Mac, you should have a output for a headphone, right? You just have to go in and pick that headphone out on as an output on your StreamYard, not on the iPad or not in the settings. But you do have to also check to make sure that your iPad or your Mac don't have identical settings in your audio and your input. You said so they have input and they have output. You have to make sure that the inputs and the outputs are set also on your Mac or on your iPad or even on your PC. Make sure those are set correctly so that it happens to function. Because there's some settings I even have on my computer that if I don't set it right, OBS doesn't see them. So it's just a matter of routing the audio correctly to a headphone set. and then you should be fine. And obviously you can put your headphones in and then go from there.
All right, so here's April. Go ahead.
Okay, so like my iPad Pro does not have any auxiliary holes to plug anything anywhere. It just it does not. All it has is a USB-C connector, and that's it. So I have like a USB-C connector that I plug that in, and that has a USB, an HDMI, and another USB-C port, and I connect my mic to that. The problem is I can't hear. There's no audio coming from the iPad. Right. So that USB-C is connected to the iPad.
The USB-C. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to get a USB-C adapter that does have an audio port on them. And they do make some USB-C. I don't know if this one has it. They make some. Okay. So this USB-C one that I'm showing you right here, it has HDMI, a VGA. It has an Ethernet. It has another USB-C, but you'll notice right here on the back, it has an audio plug. So
I need to get another adapter then, because mine only has 3 ports and audio. I don't see a audio jack as being one of them.
Yeah, this is an Ickling. I got it from Amazon. It was $35. It has an HDMI on it. It has 2 USB 3.0s. It has an SD card reader, a micro card reader, an Ethernet port, but it has an audio port on the back. And so you need to have a USB-C adapter that has all of this, and it doesn't cost. It's like $35. You need to get one. If you buy the bigger one, they have one specifically for Macs, like it's called a J5 or something like that. That one's like $80, but it has so much.
I spent $70 for my Mac USB adapter thingy, and it didn't even have that.
Yeah, that's Mac for you. That's why I'm PC till I die. What up? You know what I mean? But anyway.
PC, okay, I appreciate y'all helping me on. That's all I want. I got to get this dinner cooked. I'm sorry. I just got home from work. So
you got it. Good seeing you, girl.
Grace and peace.
Thank you.
Bye.
Grace and peace, friend. All right. So, Mike, real quick, man. Next time you shout out Amazon, bro, I'm going to have to start charging you because you didn't shout out Amazon. You didn't shout out Amazon about 10 times. So go and drop me a super chat real quick, and that'll make up for
all this. I sent you $5 last time, didn't I?
New phone. Who's this? All right. So here we got Devin. Devin has a question.
Okay.
So I use a Rode Podcaster with the windscreen over the front, covers my face up on the video. It's attached to a Blue Compass boom arm. Any recommendations on better boom arm solutions? I just saw that video too, Devin.
Yeah, let me see here. Let me look at the Rode. I don't know what the Rodecaster Pro looks like, so before I answer, I want to make sure I got the right microphone. Okay, so you have this micro. So, one, is it possible to get a smaller pop screen filter? Like I bought this from an unnamed site that I won't mention because he told me not to. Right? I had a pop screen in front of me, and it was, like you said, it was too big. It was an extra attachment, and I really just needed to control the symbol assist. That's what they call it, the P sounds, the B sounds. I just bought a pack of these. Like 4 of these was like $12. So this worked out for me fine. It did the same thing as a Rode. It did the same thing as a pop screen, and then I didn't have to get a different boom arm. There's the ones that you can clip to the desk. Now, here's another thing you can do. I don't know if you're using a camera or not.
Yeah, he's got.
You could possibly move your camera up, right, and place your microphone above your frame without it having to be in screen.
Yeah.
A lot of the bigger YouTubers, especially those I watch, you don't see their microphone in screen, and what that does is because you're talking up anyways, we're still going to get a good sound. They may add a little bit of bass to it, low frequencies to it, just to make it sound a little beefier. But microphone being in front of you is just something we've been trained and spoiled to do, like podcasters. It doesn't have to be in view. As long as we can hear you, right? Maybe you move your camera, iPad, your phone, whatever you're using, get the camera just a little bit closer. Get a mic stand that puts the camera up right above. Like if you notice on my camera frame, I only try to keep like 3 or 4 fingers above my head. So if I have to put a microphone, I just put it right here and just keep talking. And so maybe that would be the option. Get a microphone cover instead of the pop filter. And instead of having the microphone directly in front of you, maybe if you could elevate it up. And I've seen some some podcasters actually put the microphone below them. You know, they get a lot closer, but they put the microphone below them, and it's not in the frame of view. Either one of those will work. That's just my experience. So hopefully that helps.
And Devin, what I actually did was, because Devin actually has this microphone. This is the one I use because he manages. It's his studio that I started out doing my podcast in. I actually got a different cover than the one that you have on this microphone, and it was the review was that the original one was a lot smaller and it didn't stop all that popping. So this larger one was a lot bigger and it muffles that popping sound. I think it works pretty well. So
yeah,
this was a $10 solution.
Yeah, it sounds amazing. If you get the right microphone cover, I don't think you particularly need the pop screen. You see, like I said, you see a lot. Listen, in my opinion, you got to get what works for you. Once you have a sound that you're happy with and a picture you're happy with, then just start making some banging content and get it out there. Sometimes bigger content creators and then other streamers may present stuff that you may not need right away, and so, you know, those are just accessory items that you may not need to have, you know, off the rip. But, you know, microphone covers, they work, and you don't have to buy a $5 or $10 one. You can buy a $20 one if you want. They
splurge.
Work. Yeah. Go on and spend $26. You know what I'm saying?
Whoa, where would he spend that $26, Mike?
I can't tell you.
Okay, good.
On a website.
Cash App. All right, appreciate it. On a website, you out of control. All right, what we got here? No, those are great questions. So somebody asked me to do an experiment with the green screen. I'll do it. Sure. Absolutely. But like the point is, Walsh, it really doesn't get far enough. And I felt like it was giving me that halo. And every time you move, you could see the green. Every time I move, rather, you can see the green. What in the world? What do you know? Hey, man, I'm going to start charging to come up in this party, man.
Hey, I need to clarify some things.
It's blue light in the basement party, man. You got to bring some money up in this party. Go ahead, Devin. What you got?
Basically, you know, I'm using, you know, the Procaster, the Rode Procaster. It's a dynamic mic, right? So you basically got to have that thing. You got to have it about 4 finger lengths in front of your face. You can't really have it farther than that, or else it's going to start picking up audio reflection from the room, unless you've got a treated room, which I don't. Which is why I have the dynamic mic. I put that pop screen on there. Because I noticed, or that windscreen on there, because I noticed there was another one that wasn't like doing the job. And the Procaster actually has an internal pop filter on the inside of it, but it's still, you know, the plosives still get through. So I put that thing on there, but I'm like, all right, there's got to be a way that I can position a boom arm or something. Like, I like the way that you have yours actually on the desk. I've got one of the clip on. The Blue Compass is made by the same company that makes the Yeti. You know, it's a pretty sizable boom arm, but, you know, if I'm on camera, which I've got a Sony A6400 that I use, if I'm on camera, like, the mic is just, it seems like no matter what I do, that thing's in my face. So I like how you have yours kind of pointed up at the ceiling. I might try to do the same thing and try to get it more out of the frame. But, you know, this last video I put up for my podcast, people were like, dude, the mic's like covering half your face. You got to get that thing out your face.
It was. I saw that. It was.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Do you have, what angle do you have your camera at? Is it at a straight horizontal angle? Do you have it up? Do you have it down? What do you have it set to?
So I have it set at about eye level. So it's straight on. I've had some people suggest to me, and as opposed, you know, go full radio broadcaster and don't look at the camera. Look at the other monitor and you know, just treat it like there's a camera in the room, as opposed to trying to look into the camera. And that solves the problem, because then it's a different angle and the mic's not covering up my face. You know, I've thought about that as being one solution.
What is your YouTube channel name?
So I don't have a YouTube channel yet. But like, so this video was posted up on LinkedIn.
Okay, snagging it right now. Don't sweat.
And on Twitter. If you go to, I don't know if you got my LinkedIn or my Twitter, Jason, you can show the video. I'm gonna send it to him in a second.
He's gonna drop it in there. I know we said we weren't reviewing channels, but we're gonna look at this channel because I want to solve this problem tonight.
Okay. Well, then
nothing happens. We solving this. If we don't do anything else, this miracle's happening on
Okay, well,
channel.
there we go. It's a real
Appreciate
thing, y'all. We're doing a live
We're doing a live
problem
mic
solving.
Mike
We're
healing
doing
right now.
Mike healing right here. All right. So thumbs up in the comment section if you can see this video, this handsome gentleman. All right. So let's pull this up and let's so you already see it. So I think you kind of already see the crime already.
Okay.
Hold on one second.
So yeah, what I would do in looking at that video, I would simply, if you have to go from the top of the mic down, I would simply maybe lower the microphone if you can find a way to get a boom arm to lower the microphone, because you're still going to get the same great sound, and you have it below you. I think that solves the problem. If it has to be straight on, I mean, you have it like this. All you gotta do is bring it here. So maybe raise your camera, maybe like 2 feet, drop it down, tighten in the angle, and then we have, more of you, less of the microphone, and I think you're golden. I think it looks like a great stream. So I would just do that. I would just drop the microphone instead of having it straight at me. I would drop it below my mouth and raise my camera just a little bit. And you got a great mic and great sound. So that's what I would do.
Cool, man. Cool. Appreciate that.
All right.
So you could pay Jason $25 I owe him for Amazon.
Right. Yeah. Go on, hit that. Go hit that super chat. Go ahead that super chat right now.
Super chat him for that. I appreciate that. Appreciate
Blue
that.
light, look, it's a blue light basement party, man. Look, it's a blue light in the basement.
Studio time.
Oh yeah, about that studio time. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh, about that studio time. Bam. That's how we fix that problem right there. That's your studio time, player.
Appreciate
I love
y'all,
it,
man.
Hey, no problem, man. It's good seeing you, man.
Likewise.
Be good. No, that was good, man. Thank you.
No problem. He can pay you
All
that
right.
money I owe you.
Okay, well, I might go record over there tomorrow, so we'll see what happens. All right, let's see. Green screen question. I didn't see your question. I'm sorry if I missed it, Violet. I hope it was a real question. You asked a question about. I didn't see a real question. I'm sorry. Yes, this is Captain Balling on a Budget, my brother. I agree. We are balling on a budget, my brother. All right.
Did I miss my question? Let me search and see if I can find it too.
All right. So here's a question. If I get a pre-built PC, do you think that it would level me up as far as productivity? And my live streams just want to know before I invest. So that's more of an equipment question, but go ahead.
Yeah, we're doing 2 miracles tonight, man. We're gonna do 2 miracles tonight. Hallelujah. First of all, the quality of your stream is going to determine like how much of a computer you need. All right. Mm-hmm. I did a live stream a couple of days ago, $1,000 live stream setup. I ran a 720 stream out to YouTube at 2,500 kilobits per second on a $350 laptop. Streaming, it doesn't matter what software you use, is based on the usage, the CPU, the GPU, and the memory. So you don't have to get the biggest computer in the world. You have to have one that has a solid state drive. That's my opinion. You need to have a decent amount of memory and an external video card. Any used computer can handle that. If you're trying to do video editing, you may need more content, but for streaming, the pandemic, if I can say that without getting whatever the word is, changed streaming to such a degree. Technology got better, equipment got cheaper, and resources got way, way more useful. So you can spend $500 on a PC and put out a high quality YouTube channel. Like, I'm just telling you, you can do that. You just got to get, like I said, a video card. I got a 10-year-old computer over there that I'm running, and I don't have any plans on selling anytime soon. I got a $750 laptop. I don't have a MacBook Pro with an M1 chip in it. Will those things make your stream look better? Absolutely. But you have to optimize what you have and get it working right. Any mid-tier computer, 550, 450 will get the job done. So that's and if you want to sit down and talk with me and I give you some recommendations and tell you what you think you would need, I'm more than willing to do that. But you don't have to break the bank to get a quality stream anymore. Before you did. You don't have to do that now. And if you're looking at your favorite YouTubers who are been around and have 30, 40,000 views, 50,000 followers, yeah, they spent money on it eventually, but they didn't start there. And so that's just my recommendation. Look at where you want to be. Look at what your streams are. it will increase your productivity a little bit. But it really increases your productivity is your content and your consistency. Those, if you don't take anything else I said tonight, your content and your consistency, which is what will produce results on your YouTube channel.
I like it. I like it. All right. I'm still Violet. I'm sorry, Violet. Please forgive me if I missed your question. I am scouring here, and I do not see your question. I apologize. You know I'm not going to diss you. So please just put it back in here, and I'll make sure we get it answered for you.
I'm all the way at the top. Let me see here.
All right. So that's a good question. What are some reasonably priced stream decks that you recommend? Well, I'm rocking the Elgato large, not the extra large. That's what I'm rocking. It was $1.45, $1.45 on a site that shall not be named, but you can buy it on the Elgato site as well. Elgato, holla at your boy. I love it. I'm finding so many uses for it. There's several other YouTubers. I think Montana has one. I think Proverbial Life has one. There's quite a few other YouTubers that have it. Developing Dad has it as well, and it's very useful. So I like the Elgato Stream Deck. You got any ideas?
I see. Yeah, that's a great answer. Elgato Stream Deck is probably the best one to use. If you're balling on a budget and you don't have Stream Deck money, there's a couple of apps that you can use from Mac and PC that mimic Stream Deck. They are just incredibly hard to set up. So I don't recommend those. If you're gonna get a Stream Deck functionality, just get a Stream Deck. Just save up till you get a Stream Deck. The apps are great. They just take too long to set up. And at that point, I mean, I could set up 10 scenes in my software to get it done. But once you commit to something like there's some things you just can't cut budget on. Stream Deck is not one of them. I would not try to buy anything other than that. So I see two questions. I found two questions from Bree and Babe. So
okay, hold on. Let me answer April's and then we'll answer Bree's. So basically, this is basically a hotkey situation. So a hotkey is basically like Shift Alt Delete. That's a hotkey sequence. You can program this to do different functions. So when you push a button, it does something. So like, just show you real quick. So I have it set right here. I push this button, it turns off all the lights in my office. And I push it back, it turns them all back on. So you can program it to do just countless different things on your stream, in your office, you can do it for your house. I mean, it does crazy stuff. And so that's the Stream Deck. There are alternatives, but this one just seems to be very user-friendly. It has tons of interactions with YouTube and Stream Deck and StreamYard rather. And so that's what that is. So hopefully I answered that question for you.
Yeah.
And
as Jason just demonstrated, find out what, that for the Stream Deck works for him, right? Mm-hmm. I know it helps live streams, but I'm just saying, admonish you. If you don't need it, don't get it right now. Get to the point where you can get some other stuff so that you can actually improve your stream like at a level where it's manageable. Like the Stream Deck is an excellent piece of software. Man, I think everybody should have one, but get it when you're ready for it. Don't just get it because somebody told you to get it. And then you got pushed the wrong button and you cut your whole live stream off and set your office on fire. Like we don't want that to happen. So
and I will say, if you're using Google Home and Alexa, Devin is a beast at setting those up. I know he just tells us when I walk into the studio, he says, Alexa, turn on the studio lights, and everything turns on. The computer turns on. Everything goes exactly. So he's a beast at that. So maybe I'll have Devin come on and show how to set up. So you don't need a Stream Deck yet. I mean, if you have a Google Home, and shoot, my kids both have them, I can give you one of theirs. But that might be an option as well, April. No,
or you could just be like me and tell your kids to do it.
Well, there you go. She got little ones too. Absolutely.
Yeah, hey, Michael, turn on the lights. Austin, bring me my laptop. See how that works?
See how it works? I love it. No, Jen. No. All the no's. You don't need a smoke or a fog machine, Jen.
I don't get no smoke machine. I saw two questions in there.
Okay, yeah, go ahead with your question. But
one is asking about somebody wanted Jason X to make an appearance on this show. I don't know
I
about
don't
none
know.
of
They
that.
got
I hope you don't manifest on camera because that would be sad.
that would be bad. That would be sad business.
I see somebody asked about SSD 512OK or 1 terabyte. I think that's from Blue Girl Deb. I think you're asking for a computer, should you have a 512 or 1 terabyte for live streaming? If that's what you're asking, it depends on if you're recording or not. If you're presenting software and doing premieres, you need a 1 terabyte. But I would also say you probably want to get an external, like do all your editing on your 512, your one terabyte, and then offload that to an external drive. If you're just streaming, you don't need any space because YouTube is holding all your content. So I don't think it's going to matter if you're just streaming. If you are doing some premieres, you do need a 1 terabyte, and that's in my opinion. But you also would get an external drive as well. And then I saw a Brian Babe's question that says, "What type of camera are you using right now?"
Love it. Okay.
So
I didn't see it, so thank you for finding it.
I think she put it in there.
I just found it. Oh man, good. All right. So what camera are you using, buddy?
So
you got like 4 of them.
No, I have 5, but you're right. So that wasn't a flex though. Put camera 2 on.
Strange
camera
flex.
2. So camera 2, this is a Canon RF 72. This is probably a $200 camera. And obviously if I added some more lights, it would get better. Go to camera 3. Camera 3 is a Lumix G7. You can get these on OfferUp for probably about $350, maybe $400. You might get it for $325 if you're lucky. My main camera is this bad boy right here, camera 1. This is a GH5. I'm a Lumix guy. Nothing wrong with Canon or Sony. I think they have great quality. I like for my screen to stay on and for me to be able to flip it out and make some adjustments. The reason I use DSLRs is for that reason. I can make a lot of adjustments. I can do interchangeable lenses. Like this is a high quality lens, but this is a stock lens. I can use a stock lens or I can use a prime lens. So once again, this is not about the equipment. This is about how you set it up. You can get a $300 DSLR to look amazing. Does my $200 camera look like my $1,200 camera? No. But if I just had to stream all the time and you needed to see my content, go to camera 2, I could get away with this and not be complaining. I'm okay with using this camera because I think that my content would be consistent. I can add more lights and improve the quality of this camera. So those are the cameras I have. If you want me to recommend cameras, please get my contact information from follow me or just follow me. Yeah, just follow me on YouTube. And actually, I'm gonna do a presentation when it's my time. Let me know when it's my time, and then we'll go from there. Then I'll tell you how to get in contact with me.
Drop your contact information in there again, man. Stop playing. All right.
I'm gonna drop it in here, but I need to say something before we get off the
chat. It better not be Amazon. That's all I gotta say, man.
No, it ain't gonna be no Amazon.
All right. Just want to say that. Just want to say that one more time. All right. What are the bare minimum? Let's see. What are the bare minimum requires vMix? Like I said, I'm using a peasant computer. Walsh, I don't think you're a peasant computer at all, man.
Bare minimums for vMix, from my understanding, are 8 to 16 gigs of RAM. You need an i7. You can get away with an i5 if you have a older generation i5, but I definitely will require. I think any computer with an i7 or AMD Ryzen 5, 7, actually AMD Ryzen 7 or 9 chip. I believe that's what you should have. So they say you only need 4 gigs of RAM, but I recommend 8 to 16 for any software, and I definitely would recommend that you have an external a video card. So don't buy a computer that has internal video, and don't buy a laptop that's using internal video cards. Definitely have something where you can offload, because your streaming can take a load on the CPU, but you really want your streaming to run through your GPU. And it doesn't matter what software you use. You want the video component of your software to not be on the CPU load. I think StreamYard's a little different because it's a browser-based software, but for vMix, I definitely would recommend getting something with an i7, 8 gigs of RAM minimum. Get a solid state drive. If you're not recording, you don't need a big, huge solid state drive. And a graphics card. Get some kind of graphics card in there. The older graphics cards do work. But I definitely would recommend something like, I have a 1070 that's like 4 or 5 years old, maybe even longer. That works. So yeah, don't look at the end of the day. Don't break the bank trying to make your stream look good. If your stream doesn't look good with nothing, when you add something to it, it's not going to look any better. Sorry.
I love it. All right, I had 2 questions, but I got a special guest. Hold on. This might be a Jason X manifestation.
No, I'll see Jason X next week. So this ain't even about him.
Let me know, brother, if I need to. I'll go on over to the little free library real quick. What you got, K-Dub? What's happening,
man?
Brother?
I'm enjoying this. Is learning a lot. I definitely subscribe to the brother's channel so I'm always any little tip, to improve the quality of my live streams. I'm definitely trying to hone in. Well, maybe 2 questions. How do you fix or I use Ecamm. I really enjoy it just because I like doing the little sound effects. I
love them.
I like it. But what is your best suggestion on fixing people's audio who isn't, they don't really do streams and you just have them on a guest and they're struggling.
Yeah.
So I've watched a few of your streams, great content. I normally and I see a lot of guys that use Ecamm and they use StreamYard and they use even Restream has a thing where you can invite guests in. I just recommend everybody put their headphones in. Because when you have people that are trying to talk on their phone, all the software works the same. It's trying to do noise cancellation, right? So if they don't have a headphone, that noise cancellation is exception of Zoom. Zoom has the best noise cancellation in America, but nobody want to pay extra money to just bring a guest on camera. I definitely would start telling people, hey, if you're gonna come on my live, please just get a $10 set of headphones and use that. I think that's the best way to control it because obviously most of your people are coming from a cell phone, and even your guest, just get headphones. Right. That way, if you don't have like a microphone like we have, most headsets have a microphone built in. You can use that. Mm-hmm. Even people that use the AirPods, they have a built-in microphone. So people don't take this the wrong way. But if you want your content to feel and look better, start requiring just a little bit better from the people that come on. If you can't get a $8 headset, it's going to mess up the broadcast, especially if you're doing content like what you guys are doing. I don't want to take the risk that your audio is cutting out or messing up some important content. And I'm not trying to be cold to what you're doing, but at the same time, just get a headset. Right. Like if you're going to be on my show tomorrow, go down to the neighborhood gas station and buy a $5 headset. Like that's going to help me, put out better so we can have a better interaction because I got headphones on and a microphone. Mm-hmm. So that should tell you to do the same thing. Right. So it may sound a little cold. I don't want to be dismissive to people, but hey, if you watch the channel, you support the channel, whatever it is, whatever content is, I'm not asking you much by going out and getting some headphones to make our conversation go smoother. Because 9 times out of 10, that's what happens. Somebody's on a phone, an iPad or something, and the echo is killing it so bad that the software is working overtime to noise cancel out their noise. It's not even your noise; it's their noise. Right. So that's just my recommendation. I hope nobody takes offense to that, but just use headphones.
Let me double dutch and jump in there real quick. I did a video recently with I usually use these buds to record, and I encourage people, please check your audio with these because these guys, the microphone has gone out and I didn't know it. The audio sounds fantastic, but I didn't know it until I got home and was editing the video, and the video sounded like an alien had taken over. So just do a mic check. I know people laugh at me about my mic checks, but I believe in them. And since K-Dub, since your question really feeds into these 2 questions right here, James, there isn't necessarily a best headphone. Is the best headphone for you that you feel comfortable with? Like K-Dub has some over the ears, Mike has some over the ears. I have some great over the ears right here. But after a while, your ears start sweating or they get uncomfortable. So you got to think about that.
You got to switch the ears.
You got to do all that. You do that too? Okay, I thought it was just me.
I'll switch the ear, let it breathe a little.
Yeah. And then Violet, you asked for like alternatives. I just got these little cheap monitors. These are the ones like musicians use when you see them in bands and stuff like that. They're super unintrusive. They just go right in your ear. And these are very comfortable too, and they sound great. And they were $13 on that website that Mike is going to pay me for mentioning. But they were $13. Go ahead.
Question, and I'll get out of here because I got an interview, funny enough, with Timothy Brindle. But
I know.
Yeah, and so what webcam would you guys recommend? Because like I like using a webcam just because it's easy and it's directional. You know, what any webcam advice?
Logitech seems to make the best webcam for the buck. There's a ton of other webcams you can get out there off unnamed site that will work. But a Logitech C920 will work. But I'm not gonna lie to you, man. A good webcam is probably gonna run you about $100. You probably could save up double that and just get a regular camera. And then at that point, your quality is gonna be astronomical. My opinion is a lot of gamers use webcams because they just have a smaller screen in the bottom left-hand corner, right-hand corner. So they don't need a big camera.
See it. Right.
So they get a clear picture, but to get a DSLR, a Canon T2i, Canon T3i, a Sony A6000 to get one of these cameras, you might run into a pawn shop. I bought a T5i from a pawn shop for like $200. There was nothing wrong with it at all. They just didn't want it anymore.
All right.
So I would definitely say a Logitech C920 would be your best bet. But if you're looking in the market to buy a camera, right? Just save up and get a camera. Like really, get the camera you need for the content that you're doing. The investment into the picture is only going to improve your content.
Right.
That's it. So I don't think you want to make a half step up if you can wait a little longer and make a full step up. It took me 10 years to get to this. I didn't get this overnight. We were streaming on a JVC 3000 model Jesus camera when we started. Like Moses made that camera. Right. So yeah, that's what I would say. So
okay, I appreciate it. Oh, and appreciate your work at the Doctrine of the Block conference, man.
Thanks, bro. God bless, bro.
Stuff. Yeah. All right, y'all. Peace.
Hey, grace and peace, friend. All right, so we got Jen is here as well, but somebody seems like there's a conversation with April about. Do you think the iPad can she use a Bluetooth?
Yeah, Bluetooth should work. She should be able to run the audio. Yeah, that may solve her problem. She may be able to run the audio out of her Bluetooth, run AirPods or any type of Bluetooth headphones. That definitely may work. And then because they're smaller, she won't have to worry about putting headphones on or anything or messing up her hair or earrings or whatever she was talking about or somebody was talking about. I love it. Yeah.
It looks like
that definitely might work. That's a great idea, actually.
Okay. Let's get Jen in here. Jen, welcome. See, your green screen game is on point, Jen.
Come on.
That or you went to a galaxy far, far away?
I do. That's where I live. I have a question and first of all, this is a great podcast and our stream and very informative. I really appreciate it. You said earlier, you were talking about the two most important things is content and consistency, right?
Yes.
So if you're trying to, I'm just started, my YouTube channel, and I'm kind of getting into the game. But when you talk about consistency, what could you talk about consistency and what that means and what you would recommend for people to kind of build a channel, build a following? They've got the content, but the consistency and how to build your audience. But what do we have to say about that?
All right, man. So she's going to force me into a rant, but here we go.
Yes, come on.
So, content creators. Okay, let me. This is me. You don't have to agree with me. There's probably 1,000 other channels you can go to disagree with me. Just focus on providing consistent, solid content on a regular basis. Worry about the followers last. Why am I saying that? Because if you don't give your followers or audience good content, then why are they following you? You're just adding to your numbers and you're not giving them good content. So here's my approach. And here's my story. When the pandemic started, I just uploaded a bunch of videos, like maybe 10, right? They were not for YouTube. They were actually for my own website. I uploaded a bunch of videos. One video caught fire, got 50,000 views. I had no clue that I was going to get 50,000 views. And I picked up 80% of my followers in like a 6-month span. These followers were coming left and right. They were sending me questions. I had my phone number on the chat, on the actual video. I had my real cell phone number. People were calling me all the time. I was doing tutorials. And what happened is I stopped doing content. So my subscribers, which I weren't looking for anyway, plateaued out. And so I'm having to start over by doing lives every day, by offering to help other streamers. And I'm not charging or anything like that. So it's not about a money grab. This is about whatever your content is, right? Pick the same time to do your content all the time and be consistent in it. If you're only doing 1 day a week, do 1 day a week. Why? Because the people that follow you and subscribe to you are going to look for that. If you're going to premiere a video, don't like skip the premiere. Don't put a premiere up for Thursday at 5 and don't do it till Monday at 6.
Oh my gosh.
Do your premieres, do your lives when you say you're going to do them. Why? Because people will then start looking for them, right? And then when that happens, that's the monster of the algorithm. The monster of the algorithm is consistency. That's the monster of it. Now, combine that with good content, right? And then you're able to actually grow a channel the right way to where your content is being seen by the right amount of people. It's going to be suggested to other people, right? Because that's what happened to me. One of my videos came up in suggestion. Why? Because so many people were watching it. And it was simply one thing people didn't know how to do. And I was like, oh, just do this. It wasn't even like a revelatory thing. So my thing is get your content and your consistency together. Don't just always worry about the followers. They will come if you do these two things, right? So if you do those, that's just me. And I'm speaking from the experience of having shot up the follower scale without, I didn't advertise on any of these videos. I didn't say like, I didn't say subscribe. They just liked the content and I stopped doing it. That was my fault. So I'm telling you, make sure your content is solid, that people want to see it. 1, 2, make sure it's consistent and make sure that both of those are relevant to your audience and your audience will grow because it's not just 1, 2, 10 people looking for what you do. YouTube is a space where there's a billion people out there and there's room for everybody to grow. And you didn't ask me this, but your other thing is find somebody you can partner or network or collab with so that you guys can actually bounce ideas off each other and actually grow together because no man is an island. Nobody's going to get to where they're going to get on content creation by themselves. They need help. My boys set all this up. They're running everything. I just sit down here and talk. Now, you may not have a bigger audience as far as a bigger family network, but get with somebody else that says, hey, I'm about to do a show on this. What do you think? They may say, nah, don't do that. Or tweak it this way. So that's just me. I didn't mean to get on that rant, but yeah.
No, that's good.
Perfect.
Find your content. Be consistent and be consistent for you.
Right.
Don't go live 5 days a week if you can't do it.
Right.
If you can't maintain it. If you can't maintain it.
Because here's the thing. Once you drop off, it's heck trying to get them people back to following you.
Right.
Once you burn out.
Once you burn out of their mentions or once you fall out of their algorithm, getting back in there is a pain. And I'm telling you from experience because I didn't stay consistent. My content was fine. My content was I got a lot of content that I put out and the followers came, but I wasn't consistent. And so now I'm having to build back up. And you know how I'm building back up? I'm doing lives every day. I'm talking to people. I'm in comment sections trying to find out what people want to do. I'm doing surveys. I'm doing stuff. I'm talking to Dear Woke Christian every day of the week about, hey, how can we do this? That's what I'm doing because I know what got me where I was at. And so that's my
that's great. That's great advice. I appreciate it. I also want to mention, like, Jason, you were talking about a little bit earlier about headphones. I have, these in-ears that I use, but that's for my, like, when I'm performing or from if I'm
I got that from you. I got it from you.
That's right. Right.
I saw you with them. I was like, these are perfect.
So you can keep your cuteness and then just have your little in-ears or ear pods or something like that so you can hear. And one last question. I got one little quick question. That was great.
Okay, last one. Otherwise, it's a blue light in the basement party. Come on.
Tags. How do you what's the importance of tagging your videos with your subject header? Like how do you what's the importance so people can find you on YouTube if they're searching for stuff? That's the last one.
So in my experience, tags. So what I found out last week that the #1 search engine in the world is no longer Google. It's now YouTube.
It is YouTube.
So
Yep.
YouTube is actually, yeah. So that's what I found out last week. People are no longer using Google as the #1 platform. So anytime I want to learn how to do something, or anyone wants to learn how to do something, wants information, they're not going to Google first anymore. Now they're going to YouTube. Why? Because the generation would prefer to watch videos and they would prefer to read about it. So if I want to know about something that's going on with current events, I'd rather go to YouTube and read about it and watch it than I would actually listen to it and watch it than I would go read about it. So your hashtags are important because that's where everybody's at. Like if you go to your analytics channel and you look up your traffic, it's going to say that 50 to 60% of your traffic's from YouTube searches. That
Right.
it's not organic as far as like people are just finding you like they're looking for your content. They're just looking for somebody doing that content. And
let me throw this in too. It should say 50 to 60% or greater is coming from search. Because you could be like me, mine is like 30 something percent in search. So I know that my tag game is not where it needs to be because it's not searchable yet. So I'm working on editing that. And I've been talking with some people about how to improve the tags so that it does come up more in search when somebody's searching for random guys sitting in his office ranting about stuff.
Okay.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but go ahead.
No, you're good. You're perfect. And the tag part of it, you have to be strategic in your tagging, and you may tag something that's indirectly related to your subject, right? So you could be talking, I don't know, about, let's just say Hebrew Israelites, right? You don't have to hashtag Hebrew Israelites. You could hashtag apostasy, or you could, hashtag, because in my opinion, you want people to find some part of your content useful. It may not be all the content that they find is useful, but you want them to find something in your content useful. So picking those hashtags, right? And I usually only use 3. I use the 3 that I choose to use. You want to make sure that it could be related to your content, but not your content. It might be related to your channel. So you see what I'm saying? So you definitely want to take some time to think about that and also do some research on, top hashtags that are maybe surround your subject, but not necessarily your subject. I don't always use OBS and live streaming in my hashtags. I don't always use that. Sometimes I do, but sometimes I don't. That doesn't always, because there's 1,000 channels out there with OBS as their hashtag.
All right.
But if I put, I can't remember something I did, high definition. I was doing 720, 1080 the other day. I don't have to put high definitions in my hashtag. I 720. Some people may be looking for 720 that's not even related to live streaming at all. They may find my content useful. So always remember, a YouTube view is free. It don't cost you no money.
Yeah.
So however you can get a free YouTube view, I would definitely recommend you do it. So
I love it.
Thank you. That's
Thank you, man.
Appreciate it.
You. Bye, girl.
Thank you.
All right. So thank you, Jen. I appreciate it coming by. All right. So question, how do you edit videos without iMovie? Are you willing to tutor the tech challenged? Okay. So I use a program called VideoPad. It's basically free. I paid, I think it's $30 for the next step up, just because I thought I was going to use it more and I was just trying to learn how to edit. So I edit in all my videos that you've seen are recorded either in StreamYard or Zoom, and I just edit them in VideoPad, and that's it. I think I did some videos are in OBS if I did it over at Devon's in the studio. But besides that, though, that's all I did. And eventually I would like to move to DaVinci when I upgrade my laptop to a proper laptop and camera. But that's it. You got any suggestions?
For Mac, I'm not familiar with all the softwares. There's one I'm looking up that's actually free. Let me look that up, but I'm not too familiar with too many free softwares on Mac, because once you start talking about video editing, you definitely want to make sure that your program is able to do everything you want it to do, other than just basic jump cuts. Now, depending on the size of the video, I know that Mac has an excellent app editor on your phone and on your iPad. I'm gonna have to look it up. I think it's called LumaFusion. That That app is amazing.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, Fusion is amazing for editing videos, and I think it's only like $30. Like, so if you could get Luma Fusion on your app store, yeah, I had a guy in studio a couple nights ago. He recorded 1920. He actually recorded 4K video, 60 frames a second. He stuck his SD card in his iPad and just started editing the video on the fly, like smooth as butter. So I think Luma Fusion would be an excellent investment for anyone using the Mac platform. So that's my recommendation. Luma.
I love it. Luma Fusion. Fusion.
Yes.
Yeah, man. That Waterloo sighting, man, was getting me triggered. All right, let's see. April said ladies don't like headphones. Okay. All right. Hey, we gave you some options. We got some in-ears, the buds. Check it out.
I don't know what to tell you after that.
Yeah, after that, I don't know what to do. All right. Let's see what we got. Let's see. Skull Candy has some on the yeah. I mean, you don't have to spend a ton of money on headphones. Sorry about that. You don't have to spend a lot of money on that. Thank you so much. Creative, you out of the doghouse. I see what you did there. Appreciate you, brother. All right, let's $1. $1. Oh, come on, man. All right. All right. So yeah, it looks like April seems like she's gonna give that Bluetooth a shot, which I think would work out for her. I think she'll be pleasantly impressed. Okay, here's a question about camera. Let's go. So invested in a Canon G50 4K. Is that a good camera? I record church services with that.
I'm looking up to see if this is the right picture. Yes, this one is. Canon G50 is an excellent camera for recording. You can actually use this for live streaming as well. The HDMI output out of this will work for live streaming. It does have, I believe it has clean HDMI out. If it doesn't, you could just run it through an HDMI splitter, which is really easy. You put it into like a $20 splitter and take that out into a video capture card. So yeah, this is an excellent camera for streaming as well as for recording as well as streaming. If you record at 4K and you're editing these, you can record at 4K and then put the video footage into a 1920 1080 timeline and it will look amazing. Then you don't have a astronomical file size. So yes, that's a great camera to have.
I love it. All right, I don't see any other questions. I see a lot of family reunion going on. I appreciate you, man. Seek Things Above TV. Thank you so much for coming by today. All right, I see tons of shout outs, sidebar conversations. The children in the back of the classroom talking. Let me see. So,
let me see.
Okay, so yeah, that question. So the question, I think we were talking about video editing, and I think it was Luma Fusion. Do you have any suggestions on PC editing software?
So on PC, they have a program called Hit Film Pro. I want to say it's very inexpensive. It's a very good editing program for editing software. I use Premiere Pro. I mean, it's a subscription model, and I know people are like, well, I don't like that. But I mean, for $19 a month, I mean, I can have a professional editing software, and the learning curve is really not as high as people make it seem. DaVinci Resolve, you can use that for free. Now that does have a higher learning curve because it's more geared towards color correction. So, I mean, there's a couple of free Windows Movie Maker type apps that are still available. That if you just want to do a basic cut and paste, you can still do that. And then Adobe does have basically what's called a Creative Cloud Express software that does more or less online video editing. So you can use both of those. And say it again, sir. Yeah, Premiere Rush is a great app. That's free. You can do that online and video edit with that. So yeah, those are some recommendations you can use that cost you little or nothing. If it were me, I would definitely look at DaVinci Resolve, which is free. Look at maybe a possible subscription for Premiere Pro because that's just a phenomenal program to use. It comes with a lot of templates that you can get and you can download effects and stuff like that. And obviously, if you reach out to us, we can help you with a couple of Premiere Pro tutorials because we're always trying to help people.
I love it. So April's back with another question. Can you ask Michael if I should change my channel name from the government name to the name of the podcast, which is the Standard of Truth podcast. And I dropped her actual YouTube link in the description, so you can, in the chat, so you can see it. So it's April Chapman is her YouTube channel, and she wants to change it to the Standard of Truth. What you think?
I definitely would consider changing your podcast to whatever the name of the podcast is. But reason being, if you're going to stick with that podcast and you want to get that name in analytics, because as we stated, YouTube is the #1 search engine in the world. Would you rather have people looking up April Chapman or looking up your podcast? So in the light of that, because you want your podcast to be at some point, you have 3 or 4 ways that you want to have your podcast known, or your broadcast. You want to definitely have it at some point added to maybe Google Podcasts or iTunes. You definitely want to have it on YouTube, and then possibly maybe a podcast network. You would not want those all added as the name April Chapman. I have 2 YouTube accounts. I have my Michael Williams account, which is what I use for streaming funerals, but then I have Creative Studios. So Creative Studios is where all the magic happens. And if you look up Michael Williams, there's like 35,000 of us, because the name is very common. But there's only one Creative Studios that you're going to look to when you find on Google. So the Standard of Truth podcast, I would definitely consider changing your name. Don't worry about your analytics, because as long as you put out consistent content, your followers will keep the name and will keep the podcast moving. And so that's my recommendation. I would definitely change that. Don't worry about the analytics. You'll be fine.
Okay. I love it. There you go. And there you go, April. I appreciate it. So I don't see any other questions pertaining to that. I had some other questions. Do you have an opinion as relates to built-in cameras versus external cameras? Do you have any, like, for example, like your laptop has a camera on it, and do you have any opinion about that?
The newer equipment that's coming out now has better internal cameras. I know the new Mac cameras that came out last year on the new laptops are amazing. I know on the Surface Pros they have great cameras.
Yeah, they do.
It's just, once you get an external camera, your settings are going to quintuple. Like, you're just going to be able to do a lot more.
Is that a word?
Quintuple? It absolutely is a word. Aren't you educated? Like, don't you have like a bunch of degrees and stuff? Yeah. Somebody look that word up. I see you don't have me go to Google.
It's a
and
word,
look up
bro. I'm just messing with
you. You had me messed up. Had me thinking my little GED education didn't work. Like, I know my GED works. You know what I mean?
That's what you say. We hear that. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Quintuple. That's the word.
GEDs matter. Come on, bro.
Yeah, that's right.
Bring it on back.
Yeah.
Bring it on back.
Yeah. So, you got me messed up. Now I'm slow. Yeah.
You were talking about built-in camera.
Yeah. I mean, on our camera, like when my boys have to go through any of the cameras, even the $200 Canon camera with the cheaper camera, we got to adjust color balance, ISO, f-stop, shutter speed. We have to adjust lenses. Like, all of that helps play into a better image because you have more to work with. There are some webcams, when you get the webcam, they have the software. I think K-Dub asked about it before. Yeah. And even those come with more settings, because saturation, warmthness, which is different. Yeah. And warmthness is different from the actual color balance, right? So there's a whole bunch of brightness, contrast levels. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you have to do to set an external camera that will improve the quality of your stream. Now, once again, I keep saying this. If your lighting is amazing, you'll be able to pull off an excellent broadcast with an in-camera integrated camera without any hiccups. But I just know that when you go to an external camera, whatever you had that was great, it's going to look amazing. It's going to look better. So
I like it. All right. No, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. All right. So, Mike, as we get ready to wrap it up so we can everybody get to dinner, tell us where we can find you, all your different things that you're doing, and so on and so forth.
I got one more question here.
Okay.
It says, Walsh is asking, is there really a shortage of graphics card? There's a shortage. There's a shortage of everything in computer tech related field. So if you're finding that you can't get the graphics card you want, I definitely would try to get a built-in computer that has a graphic card on it. So that's what I would definitely recommend, getting a computer. I got 5 cameras on my SCI-21. What lens should I use for the best results?
That's a great question.
On my Samsung Galaxy 10 Plus, I think I have 3 cameras. I tend to use I have like 3 or 4 settings. I have like super zoom, the macro, something like a macro, and then I have the wide angle lens. If I'm shooting at 1080, I tend to use the default camera because it seems to be the right distance away from me where I'm at. I don't want the cameras to be macroed in just because that's going to affect the distance of the camera. 1, 2, I don't want to use a wide angle lens. It's too much in the room. The only reason I would use a wide angle lens on any camera is because I don't have a lot of space in my presentation area, and so I need to make it look bigger. The wide angle is going to make it look bigger, but then you're still going to end up needing to use a crop factor. So whatever your default camera is that will give you 16:9 viewpoint, that's the camera. That's whatever lens on that particular model of phone. That's the one I would use. I would not make any zoom adjustments. I wouldn't use the macro, and because those are made for specific photography or videography needs. The default camera is probably going to be your best one to be used for live streaming or recording. That's my experience on my Samsung Galaxy, so my Samsung phone.
Okay, that's what's up. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
No problem.
All right. I think that's everything. So double checking. People just drop in there the names of their channels. If you're a content creator, please drop your channel down below. Walsh is back again. I use IV Cam when using my phone. It just compresses it so much, and I lose resolution. You got any opinions on IV Cam? I've never heard of that.
If he's not using OBS, if he's using OBS, even if he's not using OBS,
He's on his phone. He said he's on his phone.
Oh, I know. But
okay.
I use there's a software called OBS.Ninja, right? And I'll drop that in the link. That allows you to say it again. Well, okay, it's actually VDO.Ninja. I'll drop it in the chat. That allows you to take any source from any phone or any computer and input it into whatever program you're using. It uses a technology that's similar to NDI. It's completely free. You can adjust the setting on your phone to tell it to use the highest quality or the lowest quality. If you're going into OBS, you can also use an NDI app. Just find an NDI New Tech app, and that will pull your stream in without too much compression. So OBS or VDO.Ninja, an NDI app, and those are the two I can recommend because those aren't necessarily geared, even though they have the name OBS in it, they're not geared towards OBS. You can pull those into vMix, and basically it is it's basically the same technology that they use for security video cameras. So that's what I would recommend. Don't use that software that you said, because I used to use it too, and you're right, the quality was horrible. If you're going straight to YouTube, an excellent app to use since you have a Samsung is the Larix Broadcaster, LARIX. That sends the signal to YouTube almost uncompressed. Now, it uses a lot of battery life and a ton of bandwidth, but I've used Larix Broadcast to live stream a whole service when they didn't have cameras, and it was amazing. So,
okay. And does that work with Zoom?
It does. Both of those work with Zoom because once you install the software and you go to Zoom and you tell it, if I'm correct, and you tell it which camera to use or which software to use, because you can RTMP to Zoom. So knowing how to do this is all technology talk. Knowing how to do all this, it's just a matter of using the right settings on each software to send it to Zoom. And contact me, and I'll show you some tutorials that I had to watch to get that and the sound and everything set up, and we'll walk you through it.
I love it. Sounds good. Walsh, you got that. So feel free to check out Mike, and your contact information is was in here somewhere in the stream. I know it. I saw it earlier. Tell us what else you got going on. I know you got classes going on. You're doing lives every day. Tell us what you got going on as we get ready to wrap it up.
Okay. Yeah. Cause I got to get ready for Bible study here. They're already setting up the room, so I got to move fast. So, and actually I'm going to put this link in the description, and you're going to put it on the screen for me because you are my Well, you are my good friend.
No
I
question about it.
You're my guy right there. So this is what I'm working on next. It is called OBS Academy, and this is where I am focusing a lot of my energy. Now, don't let the name fool you. It is a online school we're starting for live streaming. It will not just be geared to OBS. A lot of it will be geared towards live streaming in general. We would just have a focus on OBS, but we're looking at getting into some StreamYard classes, also possibly doing some vMix classes, which take a little longer. But there's going to be a cost for it. But what I'm going to do for today's broadcast is anybody that goes to the website and you fill out the contact form, right? It's going to give you a PDF, just ways to improve your live stream. A lot of what we talked about tonight. You download that PDF when we get launched. The people who sign up today will give a free membership too. So it's going to include classes. It's going to include one-on-one sessions. And we're also going to have some guest teachers as well. So if you can visit that website and fill out the contact form on the front page, we won't spam you. That's where our energies are at. We're working on OBS Academy right now. We are building our class, we're recording some more classes. Like I said, don't let the name fool you as far as being, you don't have to use OBS to take these courses. We're really geared towards helping live streamers get acclimated to live streaming. We'll be doing a lot of tech reviews on there, and it'll be private tech reviews that we won't be doing on YouTube. So that's kind of where we're focusing our energy. So if you are wanting to learn live stream, that's where we're headed. We hope you want to be a part of that. So there you go.
Love it. Thank you, man. I'm looking. Looking for your email. Somebody asked about your email one more time. So I'm trying to.
I'll put it in there again.
All right. And I think we got it. Y'all, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Mike, I appreciate you interacting with us, giving some good insight and wisdom. Here's his email. Walsh.
Yes.
Oh, my pleasure, man. Thank you. We really appreciate it, man. Mike, I don't know what to say. Hopefully you'll see the improvement in our live streams, in our content. You can go by and say, oh man, that guy moved that camera a little bit closer, or she turned those lights on. I love it.
Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity to be on the channel, and I hope everybody got something out of it. So I'm looking forward to you to, connected with me through either OBS Academy or, visit me on YouTube where we're doing live streams every day. Yep. And we just appreciate the opportunity to be on this channel and all the channels and all the questions. So you guys, if you can get a chance, the last bit of information, if you can get somebody to help you partner with you or help you do your channel, absolutely do it. Absolutely run your ideas off someone else. Absolutely bounce your ideas off somebody. Find a network to help you do it. We're not in this alone. We all can use help. We're all learning. We all have the same goal. So make the effort to connect with me, connect with Jason, connect with April, connect with somebody, even if it's just to shoot a text message, hey, or an email or a DM. Hey, what do you think about this idea? I think it helps having a group of content creators that have the same goal, putting out solid content. Most of us are putting out content for the body of Christ. And so let's get help. Let's all do this together.
I love it, man.
That's all I got.
I appreciate it. All right. Well, you go do what you got to do. I'm going to sign us out of here. Get back in the green room. See you next time, brother. Hey, everybody. I want to thank you very much for stopping by. That was a lot of fun. Hopefully you got some good things from it. If you do need to reach out to Mike, there's his email, accounts@creativestudios.com. You know where to find me as well. So I appreciate you. Hopefully you got something good from it that you're able to apply and you utilize with what you have right now in your studio or in your recording space. And I'm looking forward to talking to you again real soon, everybody. So grace and peace. Take care.